Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Me, Bae and J. I'm Me, this is Bae, and this is J, and we are a polyamorous tripod living and loving in New Orleans, Louisiana.
Make sure you click the subscribe button if you're ready to join our conversations and learn how to thrive when you love and connect with more than one person.
On this episode, we're discussing polygamy versus polyamory. If you want to know more, stay tuned. Polygamy, by definition, is the practice or custom of having more than one wife or husband at the same time. Generally, polygamy tends to come with one husband with multiple wives, two or more, with the husband tending to be the central person of this relationship. And so we often also see that polygamy finds its basis in cultures, traditional practices. Doesn't mean that it has to come from a traditional practice, but that is generally where we see that style and structure and lifestyle in existence, right? For me, having been exposed to polygamy from a very young age, I definitely saw a lot of things about it that I did appreciate and love, but there was a part of the structure that just didn't feel like it was completely for me. So polyamory. Polyamory in general falls under a wider umbrella of ethical non-monogamy. In practice, it encompasses many different relationship styles. So we will fall under the style referred to as hierarchical poly, or one primary plus. In this style, there's a central relationship, which is our primary relationship, but there could be a plus. We're married, we share children, we share finances, we own property, and we own businesses. So we are our primary relationship, but there could be a plus.
As Heather mentioned, we are in an hierarchical polyamorous relationship, which means we three are each other's primaries. So you will hear us called a tripod, you'll hear throuple, and you'll hear Heather's favorite, spice.
Spice.
She loves to say we're the spice of her life, and we are. But we're also in a closed polyamorous relationship. So that means there's not a revolving door of people coming in and out of it. But what happens if a situation does arise and someone wants another experience? It's very simple. It's communication. We come to the table, the three of us, we present our fears, our insecurities, our feelings with boundaries, etc., and we come to an agreement. And that means that's probably not the last conversation. We may have to have another conversation the next day. We may not need one for 2 weeks. We may not need one for a month. But the fact is the table is always open for people to come back to express whatever they need to express about the situation that is at hand.
Yep, really well said. Gotta put it out there. And the conversations are not always easy.
No.
And you don't always want to have this conversation. Yes. Wait, can we just touch on that real quick?
Let's touch on it.
Because one of the things that we do out of respect for each other and each other's space and, willingness to have this communication is we say, is now a good time? And the other person has the right to say it's not a good time. And so then we have to come back to it. But you also put that person on alert. You're gonna have to find a good time within the next 7 days.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And we do. We make sure, we are committed to making sure that we do find a time, because if it's important to one person, then it has to be important to the three of us as a whole.
Right, and that could look like scheduling our Wednesday lunch. We can talk about it over lunch on Wednesday, because Wednesday is our middle of the week. It's an opportunity for us to definitely stop what we're doing with work and take an hour of time to get together.
So we also wanted to take a second and kind of touch on the narrative that the typical man with his 2 wives, and kind of let you know that that's not how it works over here. And really, that's not how we would want it to work at all. We're all part of the one relationship. We're all important in our own aspect of it. And, you know, we're all committed to that relationship and the health and well-being of the relationship. So it's not just about me and my women or, you know, which is funny, right? But, I mean, that's not what it is. And a lot of people kind of tend to look at it from that standpoint first. And, you know, I just want to tell you guys out there that, you know, if you think that, you know, you're going to be big pimping and you try to get into polyamory and stuff like that, it is not for the faint of heart, okay? You know, you talk about the work it takes with one person, yes, times two.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I really think, and listening to you talk about what it's not, to me, that was the description of polygamy the way that I grew up with it. It was just the one man and his two wives or more wives. And so every wife was not also, as you said, committed to the health and well-being of the entire relationship, because they tended to view themselves as separate.
Yeah.
As being in relationship to this man, and in the better ones that did have some of the good attributes that I talked about, there was the relationship between the two wives.
Sure.
Where they really worked together, they played cards together, they breastfed their babies together, they were friends.
Yeah.
But you weren't guaranteed that everyone in it was in it for the health of this whole relationship, because we are all related to each other. It's not them.
And there's no equality in that kind of situation.
Well, you're always searching for your equality.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, you're always trying to get this equality. And not only get the equality, you said it earlier when you were like, you know, we're not putting anyone down. We're also not putting anyone up. To say this is the first wife, this is the one who, you know, makes this, that, and the next decision, and the last wife to come in have to do. No. We're all even. It's an even keel here.
Everybody gotta wash dishes. Everybody gotta wash clothes. Everybody
got their job.
Yep. Everybody do their part with the kids, and you know, I mean, it is what it is. To tell you the truth, we are a functional family, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah.
Honestly, you know, I think the old ideals of, you know, the generations past when it comes to like men and women and relationships, that's something that's dying. It's yeah.
Because people want to feel seen, and they want, you know, to feel safe.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And loved.
And loved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got plenty of it.
Yes.
Well, I think people also want to feel really understood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So these kind of situations and these kind of things that arise within not just a relationship like ours, but a regular relationship, you know, is always an opportunity to learn a little bit more about how you work and why you do the things or react the ways that you do. And it could be a great teacher and a great motivator to improve, you know, overall.
I want to say why we consider ourselves a tripod, since we actually started using that term all the way 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, Jeff, do you want to describe why we said we were a tripod?
Well, the reason why that I've always maintained that that we use a tripod as
We have a child that just came out.
just popped up on us like
and
right
she
here.
should be sleeping.
Go to bed.
Hello,
So-
baby.
But I can't sleep. I can hear you guys.